Hi, I'm Sharon Landon, and welcome back to Old Asian Lady. Today, my guest is Ross Butterfield. He's originally from Minnesota, but on an impulse, he took a job in a place he knew nothing about. He's now been settled in Hawaii for the past 40 years. We chat about his journey into the unknown, overcoming personal and professional challenges along the way, and how he handles the ongoing grieving process for his mom and cousin. He also shares concerns about aging and his upcoming retirement and his thoughts about what the future might hold.
Ross, thanks so much for chatting with me today.
My pleasure.
I wanted to start off with a little bit about your background. You're from Minnesota.
I'm from Minnesota, born and raised. I moved here in September 8th, 1985. I'll never forget that date for some reason, because a month before that, my sister and her family moved to Arizona.
Oh.
So my mom actually lost two kids within a month.
Within a month. Was that pre-planned or that just happened?
My sister's was pre-planned. Mine was not. I worked at a golf course in Minnesota. Started on the grounds crew, went into food and beverage, ran the golf shop. In the food and beverage, I got to know the general manager. It was an Mexican restaurant called Chi-Chi's.
Mm-hmm.
And they said they were coming to Hawaii to open up.
Oh.
And I said, you need any help? And he said, well, we need bartenders. Oh.
You had no experience because you're working on a golf course.
Well, but I worked food and beverage, right? So I was managing the restaurant.
Oh, okay.
I bartended a little bit, managed a lot. And I was fairly young, 22 at the time. Fairly single, fairly single.
Yeah.
But I said, what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anybody here except for him and his wife,
Mm-hmm.
and the owner of the company. Actually, they were moving here also. So, yeah, within 30 days, I moved to Hawaii, and I had never been here.
Right. So it wasn't like you, what do you call it? Sometimes people have this craving to go such and such place. Not craving, but they kind of see ads about it, or they, hear about it in the news, or their friends or something mention it, and then it happens that they have this opportunity to go. So it didn't happen like that at all with you.
Not at all.
Okay.
It was, I'd never been here, so I'll try it.
What had you heard about Hawaii in Minnesota? I mean,
Well, that it was beautiful weather, and that it was an island.
mhm.
I was going to say I never Googled, but we didn't have Google at that time. But I never even looked at a map to see where we were, how far it was, anything.
Mhm.
It's I'm just going to go. Because I trusted, his name was Bruce, and we were good friends. He was just helping me out in the catering department. But I figured, I'll do that. And if the food and beverage doesn't work out, I can always get back into the golf business.
Yeah.
The golf is, I figure, pretty easily attainable here in Hawaii.
Mhm.
So my mom was shocked. My family was shocked. And yeah, so 30 days later, I was on the plane, cried like a baby on the plane. It's what am I doing?
Oh, okay.
What am I?
Regret?
Oh, yeah.
about that?
Well, I brought 3 bags with me.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was my golf bag.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I was my crew and the club members, they had a big party for me like maybe the week before I left. Should have bought Blocks of Phoenix, but I sang the song "Leaving on a Jet Plane."
Oh yeah.
Don't know when I'll be back again,
Yeah.
right?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Because I knew the band. They were members of the club, and so yeah, it was hard, but I was excited. And then when I was flying in, it was at night. I'm like, holy cow, this is a huge island.
Oh my! See, these are so stereotype.
I know. Well,
No, not just you, but
yeah.
Yeah. So
My cousin thought everybody was still in brass skirts. I didn't think that, but
that was one of the things that people would ask me. Oh, do you guys all wear grass skirts and live in a hut or something? And I'm thinking to myself, okay.
yeah. Well, so that was the first thing that's like, wow,
Yeah.
it's amazing. So that kind of eased me a little bit, and then I actually lived with Bruce and Judy. They were nice enough to take me in, and because I didn't know anybody, I didn't have money. My license expired before I came over. I didn't have a car. Luckily, where they lived and where Chi-Chi's was just a block away, so it was within walking distance. All the bars were within walking distance. And that's how I met my wife. We'll get to that later.
Yes.
But yeah, so I bartended for 9 months. And then the bar manager that was there, who was also from Minnesota, he couldn't handle the culture. So he moved back.
Oh yeah.
So they made me bar manager. It's like, okay, that's kind of what I was looking for, was moving up. Although, the bartending was fun. It was more of a disco kind of club and a lot of action. But then as manager, a little more pressure. But yeah, so after work, then it closed at 1 o'clock. When I was bartending, after I get off my shift, I'd go to the next bar.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
The next bar.
You said you were in your 20s at the time, right?
Right.
Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to get back to that you just mentioned a little bit earlier is that you said the manager that was there before you, because of the culture, he couldn't deal with the culture and he went back, which is really interesting to me because Hawaii is, even back then, it was a U.S. state, and so the perception people have of culture, because when I'm thinking of big cultural changes, or it's like if you go international, go live somewhere like where I'm staying, living in Taiwan. Was he originally also from Minnesota?
He was, and to me, I mean, I didn't have that much of a problem. It might have been maybe his personality, because I'm very easygoing. I get along with everybody. In fact, I think after the first week when I was manager, one of my waitresses said, "Oh, Ross, let's meet in the parking lot. We're going to have a couple drinks." And she said, "You like taco?" I said, "I love tacos." But
okay, I know where this is going.
But she had taco. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so taco is like octopus squid for people that don't know Hawaiian terms. Yeah.
I'd never had it before. And she told me what it was before I ate it, and I tried it, and I loved it. I still love it to this day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean...
So maybe he thought that he was getting Mexican tacos and he couldn't deal with that or something like that.
Yeah, I think, because even for myself, I had to go and get a TB card. And I took a bus, got on the bus, tried to stick a dollar bill in the machine, and the bus driver said, "Hey, you're going to jam up my machine." I'm like, "Oh." So I don't have any change. And he looked in his mirror and said, "Anybody got change?" This big Hawaiian lady, boy, come. Give me change. So she gave me change, but I was the only Caucasian on the bus.
How we, as we say it.
Yeah.
We can say.
Okay, I felt a little strange, so I didn't take the bus back home. I took a cab.
Okay.
Cost me $40.
Oh my gosh.
Which was scrounging to get up to $40.
I know. So this is the thing too. I mean, I shouldn't have, not that I was laughing about the cultural things, cultural shock or cultural difference thing, because everybody's perceptions are quite different, So, people have homesickness or like those simple things like this that we don't think about when we're back home. I mean,
Right.
Yeah, it can be quite.
Well, we talk about homesickness. I mean, the worst part for me when I got here was the holidays. Christmas time. It's like, this is not Christmas. I'm from Minnesota and you got snow up to your knees. And, it wasn't Christmas. And I didn't really know too many people at the time. Like I said, my good friends that I moved with, of course, I started hooking up with some of the people that I worked with. But, after a while, and I didn't really date here that much. I golfed a lot, so he's wasn't my boss.
That's not cheap either. So scrounging for that $40 tax.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was, there goes my tips. Yeah. When I was bartending, and then even at that time, the salary from management wasn't that good, but I wasn't. They were nice enough to not charge me any rent. So then, like I said, I didn't have a car, so I didn't really have too much to spend money on other than golf, and so it was great. I mean, I was loving it, and the weather, summer every day here. Yeah. I'd go to the beach, and I'd go, not surfing. I couldn't get into surfing. I was more of a golfer, I want to keep my...
Too much work goes to surfing.
Well, and... I was in Minnesota, land of 10,000 lakes. I was in the water.
That's skiing, though.
Yeah, but you don't have to worry about anything coming up from the water.
I mean, okay, my surfing experience is, I dated a surfer guy, I dated a golfer guy. But the surfing part is it takes me so much work to paddle out there. And then it's 1 minute or 2 minutes, 1 minute, not even that, coming back. So I know. So I was pretty tired.
I never even tried surfing. I did try windsurfing. I dated this girl who's a windsurfer, so we went to Kailua. That's the windsurfing capital of the world. And I think after 9 or 10 tries, I finally got up. And then she dumped me, literally. I guess I wasn't a windsurfer, so which ended up to be a good thing because, like I said, then these bars that I would frequent, I started, kind of looking at this waitress at one of the bars and thought she was beautiful, but I wanted a chance with her. And then one day I went over there and she brought me a Black Russian. She said, "This is from the bartender." I said, "Well, thank you." And I guess at that time she had asked him who I was. And he said, "Oh, he's the manager at Chi-Chi's." And she thought I was stuck up. And you think you're a manager and I'm a waitress. You're so much better than me. But I was a very, very shy guy.
Yeah. So you didn't.
So I didn't, because I guess part of me didn't want to make a move and get shot down.
So it's an ego thing. Is it the shy thing or the ego thing?
I never inquired or not whether she was married. So I didn't even know, but I just was like, ends up she was going through, I think she was separated at that time. So and it ended up we did get together. And man, best thing that ever happened to me. I was shocked. It's like, because one of my bartenders at Chi-Chi's dated one of the bartenders where she worked, and they said, "Whoa, Jojo, like the interest for you." I'm like, "What?" So yeah, we kind of hit it off, and she told me about her past. She had she was separated at the time, or possibly divorced, I don't remember, but she had a 12-year-old son.
Yeah.
Which always was a concern for her when she started a relationship. Not that she had a lot of relationships, but she just wanted to be upfront. But I've got a 12-year-old son. I said, fine. I said, I've never been married. I don't have any kids. So I tell you, when I met him, he wanted nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with me. You're not going to be my dad. No, I'm not.
Because how long did you guys date?
Well, he was living with his auntie in Oregon when Jojo and I first started dating. Maybe a year. But I think she had told him that at 12 years old, do you really understand? Or maybe she did tell him, because when he came back, he met me. It's like, oh boy.
Attitude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. I mean, like I said, I've never had to go through that. But so I eventually told him, I don't want to try and be your dad. I just want to be your friend.
Yeah.
Told him I bought this house. We were still not married. He was living with us. There were still trials and tribulations, but I am happy to say that in the last, things have gotten a lot better since he got into his adult years, I would say, 18, 19, 20. And now he introduces me as his dad.
As his dad. Oh, that's great.
And he calls me dad. Not all the time.
Right. Does he call you Ross?
He does.
He does.
He doesn't call me uncle.
Okay.
But his dad is still here.
Right.
I mean, he lives in town, and they spend some time together. But I can see in Russell a lot of the things that I was trying to instill in him growing up, which makes me proud. And we still, buck heads a little bit, but for the most part, everything is good, and it makes me feel really good. It finally came to that.
Yeah.
He's given me 2 beautiful granddaughters, even though they're not my biological. I've got a picture inside them each kissing me, and it says, "My favorite people call me Grandpa." A picture of me, so yeah, it is sweet. And
so they're not your biological, but which is what mentioned. You guys have Russell, and did you guys make a conscious decision not to have other kids?
Yeah, it was kind of conscious, because at that time I was 35. And by the time he's graduated, I'm 54. So yeah, we just decided that we'll raise him, and we're happy about it, because he's turned out, he's now an engineer at a prominent bank here in Hawaii, and he's done pretty well for himself. And he, like myself, we never had college educations. I never went to college. I wanted to go to college, go to vocational school, and I wanted to learn how to drive heavy equipment, like the big bulldozers and stuff. But at that time, I had to wait a year, and say, well, I can't wait a year to go to school, which actually goes by pretty fast. So I ended up just working construction with my friend and his dad's company. And then from there, my cousin, Rick, his brother-in-law actually was a superintendent at a golf course in Minnesota and offered me a job. And at that time, I was making like $10 an hour with this construction job, unions. Like, that was good money. And they offered me $7.50 an hour at the golf course. I did graduate from high school, but I never. College is something, and college itself was something that never really interested me.
You moved here in 1985. So that means it's been 40 years. No. How many years?
Yeah.
25, 40 years.
40 years.
40 years since you moved here.
Yes.
At what point, because I know you're having little bit issues, not necessarily cultural shock, and obviously you didn't move back, but at what point did you feel that Hawaii was your home?
That would have been after I met my wife. Well, even, yeah, while we were dating, I started to meet her family, but even at that time, I was the only Holly in the family. But one of the aunties started calling me her favorite Holly nephew. So yeah, had it not been for that, and Yodo and her family is very, very tight. So that ended up being my family, which made a huge, huge difference in me staying.
Yeah, because you mentioned before that, Christmas was really hard on you because, well, one of the things, the weather. I know this is one of the things, but then I guess, your family is far away. But yeah, having a second family helps a lot.
Oh, that's, like I say, without that, I would have never stayed here being single, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, because, I hunted and fished a lot in Minnesota, so the winter activities, but, yeah, her family, they took me in, and that too was a little bit, this Holly guy coming in now. But by that time, I already knew some of the do's and do nots here.
Did you ever have any kind of uncomfortableness in when you're talking about your relationship with her family? You mentioned that you were the only Holly in the family group and stuff like that, but I mean,
there was a couple of instances with a couple of her cousins that kind of big and how do I call it?
Really local.
Well, not so much local as very protected and very don't mess with my cousin.
Right, yeah. Family. Ohana and Nikoi. Yeah.
It took probably a couple, maybe 3 years, and actually one of those cousins that I was a little bit intimidated by after we were married, he ended up saying that, kind of like in the yearbooks, he said, I think Ross and Jodo's marriage is the one that will succeed. So I guess he must have seen something, and that was a good feeling, because he was the hardest one to get to host to. Yeah, the aunties and uncles, and so it's hard. My family's back there. Missed a lot of weddings, and
you have a big family back in Minnesota.
A lot of cousins. There was 3 of us kids in our family, and then they all there had their kids. I have one sister in Arizona, a brother in Minnesota. But we were 3, 6, and 9. I was 3, my sister was 6, my brother was 9 when my father passed away.
Okay. Oh, so you guys are 3 years apart.
3 years.
Yeah, like my family were 2 years apart.
My brother's 9. Yeah. So that was my father passed away. He was 37 years old.
Oh.
Died of a heart attack. And the only thing I remember about him was he used to pick me and my neighborhood best friend up at the end of our driveway. So he was a mailman. He picked us up in a mail truck and drive us up to the house, which was 30 yards away, maybe. That's about the only thing I remember. But my mom never remarried.
So you were brought up by your single.
And then,
Yeah.
and I think I have a lot of her traits that she instilled in me. So, yeah.
Which are?
She kind of always instilled in me to live by the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Yeah.
So that's what I've always lived by. And empathy. I mean, I've done in my course of management years, I've had a lot of training and stuff, and they've always said that it ends up that empathy is one of my biggest traits.
Me too.
And maybe that's why I never had any real issue getting along with people, because it's like I'm not going to start anything. I'm putting myself in your shoes, and I attribute a lot of that to the minority. Because here of us kids, and we all turned out pretty good. Of course, I'm the best.
Okay, so yeah. You kind of tear up when you're talking about your mom, and she passed away not that long ago, right?
Right. It'll be 2 years.
2 years.
December.
So that's pretty recent, yeah.
And that's one of the 3 funerals that I went back for. The other was my cousin. We're like brothers. Is 5 days older than me. And then his mother, and that was 17 years ago. So.
Oh, so he passed 17 years ago. Wow, that's a while.
Yeah.
And you still have a reaction about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his mother, who was my mom's sister, those are the 3 I went back.
Right.
And actually, his mother passed after me. And they always say, your kids are not supposed to go before you, right?
Yeah.
He did.
So was that something that was an accident, or he was sick? I mean...
They said it was a heart attack.
Heart attack. At that time, how old was he?
He would have been 48.
48.
And he was still actually working, or he was the superintendent at that golf course that I started at.
Right. Oh, man.
So, yeah, that was, and, my brother called me over here, and we actually have 2 cousins named Rick. One of them is on my dad's side. One is on my mom's side. And my brother called. I said, Cousin Rick passed away. And he goes, I knew Rachel. Not that I just like the other cousin anymore, but I just knew. So, and unlike here, the funeral process is like within 3 days.
Yeah, back in the States.
Yeah.
State.
So it's like, I said, well, maybe I'll come back in a week or 10 days. I said, you're going to miss everything. You got to come back now. So I did. And then, of course, my work, they understood. So, yeah, but we had a keg of beer at his house because that's how he would have wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a celebration of life. Good thing. Yeah.
So,
to now, gosh, you must have been really close to him, but him on top of your mom, and I think I only had one person that was ever, for me, that was more closely related that passed away, and that was my adopted dad. I mean, my real family in Taiwan, I wasn't that close to them in that way. Like my mom had already died before I was adopted, and so I don't have that really super emotional attachment that I feel like you have. So in terms of them passing, Rick passing, as well as your mom, obviously, is it that you haven't been able to process the grief? Or your mom is really soon, she's still only been 2 years. But what is it that you do to kind of...
You know, I don't think it's ever going to end. First of all, I mean, I cry at weddings. So I'm very emotional. I get teary-eyed listening to a song.
Yeah, that's part of your empathy.
Yeah. And I don't know what it is. Like I said, he was my cousin, 5 days older. They're like brothers. Just the connection we had. Everything.
What's your favorite memory of here?
My favorite memory?
Yeah.
When we were deer hunting.
Okay.
And he was lost in the woods.
So that happens a lot in the mainland.
Well,
people don't like to admit it to.
It does, because the woods are so big. But he had gone in with the rain suit on, with the elastic and stuff on your ankles and wrists. And so you cannot holler in the woods.
Because the bears will come?
No, it echoes.
Oh, okay.
So what you do is you shoot your gun. So we shot our guns. We were at the cabin already. We shot our guns. So that way he knew, because you can hear where that sound comes. So when he came out of the woods, all he had left on was the elastic around his ankles and his wrists. Everything else was ripped off because he was running through the woods, and it's not like open woods. There's
oh my gosh.
bushes and stuff.
So all his clothes were torn off?
No, just the rain suit that he was wearing.
Just a
Still had his clothes on, but yet around his wrist and his ankles, the elastic bands with the little pieces of the rain suit.
Okay. How old were you guys then?
Probably 18 or 19.
18 or 19. Okay, so I mean,
and there was always 6 of us that went up hunting. So the 5 of us were at the cabin waiting for him.
Sorry, you got like rubber bands around your neck, sort of, and your ankles going.
Well, because you shoot your gun, actually you shoot it 3 times. That's like SOS.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
And then he knew which way to go. And it was starting to get dark, so he was getting a little scared. Because there is bears and wolves. Not so many bears winter time. More wolves. That's my... There was a lot of them, but that's
the one that comes to mind.
Yep. Because when I get together with my other friends, we still talk about that. And
Really?
my family laughs about that over here. We laugh about it. So, yeah. Yeah, it was funny though about him, because the day he passed, the bald eagle flew past his sister's house. We don't see a lot of bald eagles in Minnesota.
Right.
On the first anniversary of his death, his sister was out walking. Bald eagle flew by again. So a number of times.
Yeah.
I mean, I was brought up Christian family, so I believe in a lot of that stuff, and
In Christianity
and stuff like that happens. And I guess that's part of why I live by the golden rule, or try to run it that way.
So with nature and birds and things like that, and to have that ego repeatedly come through, I think that's, I mean, I'm not sure how much you believe that, in that it's not necessarily Christian based, but it's the universe and it's the spirituality of things happening, that it's his way of communicating with you guys.
Exactly. And more so, I'm beginning to believe outside of the Christianity stuff.
Yeah.
You know, stuff happens. I mean, here in Hawaii, we have these big moths that always come and land. We always say, oh, that's so-and-so. There's so-and-so.
Yeah.
You know, so... Yeah, I mean,
And what's really interesting is that there's so many different birds, but he chose an eagle to leave you guys the message that he's fine. And you know, eagles are quite majestic and they soar, and he's letting you guys know he's doing good. He's fine.
Yeah, and
he's around.
He's around.
Yeah.
And, you know, whenever I see eagles on TV, I watch a lot of nature shows. I think of that, and his sister has told me a number of times the eagle encounters that she's had, and bald eagles in that part of Minnesota are not real common, so it's even more so. It's like, yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
You know, he's good. I know that, but and it's always us that are left that
Yes.
think we're suffering, which, you know,
Yes.
they're doing good.
They are. No, you gotta believe that too. And that, you know, you guys' connection was really, really strong, and that's like amazing. But yeah, he's doing good. He's fine.
And even my mother,
Yeah.
the only two wishes she had was, I don't want to be cremated. I want to be buried next to your dad.
Yeah.
She got that.
Yeah. Have you seen any type of signs maybe that you think might be your mom coming by?
You know, the only thing is some of her recipes.
Yes.
I got a bunch of her recipes, and looking through all of those, and I called my sister. I said, you know, how do you think this should be done? And he told me, just like asking Mom, you know. So, because she loved to cook and bake, and I haven't seen any specific sign, but when I go through her recipes, I feel it's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Because she was like church every Sunday, and Sunday school, and you know, I think we had a great upbringing, and I owe what I am to her.
Yes. You know, sometimes I feel like the times that we grew up in our decades or whatever, I feel like it's so different than nowadays. You know, I mean, well, in terms of a lot of things. And you said your mom was very Christian, and my family, my parents, my adopted parents were also very Christian. We had to do a lot of church things, you know, but I just always felt that there's a little bit more out there than what I only learned in the church. So, yeah. But the kids nowadays, sometimes I wonder, I think I saw, when I was in New York filming, and one of my co-actor, he had a friend that's from Honolulu that lives there in New York City now, and came to, you know, visit him while he was there, and they went out, met with friends and stuff. And I always thought to myself, oh my gosh, when I was 23, was I like that? And I have to really say, you know, I mean, I don't think so. I don't know. Is there a lot younger? They don't have as much care. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think, and then for myself, I think I was the same then as I am now. A little more rambunctious, maybe. But I still had that that same feeling about people, and but try not to embarrass myself or anybody around me. Some of that didn't always work that way, but
Can I tell you some stories? No, no, no.
well, yeah. But I mean, that's like I said, all of my life. I don't know. I mean, and I don't stress out about anything, which maybe sometimes is not a good thing. I think about things, but if you stress out, that doesn't do anybody any good.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially, well, been a food and beverage manager for like 40 years, and you stress out, your staff's going to stress out. So,
Yeah. So what is it that you're doing with big machinery now?
well, I've come full circle,
Interesting. Yes.
and I'm back on the grounds crew and riding big mowers. So my official title is operator 2. So I am an operator, which is what I wanted to be when I graduated.
What is that song about? The operator. What was that song? Was it in the 70s, 80s, or something? Smooth operator.
Oh yeah, smooth operator. Well, I'm not always so smooth. I'd like to think I am, but yeah, it's just a big mower now.
Yeah.
But it's funny because when I talked to my boss, that was my boss at the golf course in Minnesota, I said, look, I'm back on the grounds crew, which is what I wanted to do. No stress.
Yeah.
Well, some stress, but not like
being a manager, restaurant manager. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm loving it, and I got my operator title. Working on the big machines that I wanted to be on when I was a kid. Maybe in a year or so, looking at retiring, and then there's plenty of stuff that's.
You just mentioned the word retiring, so aging, we're all getting there. So, yeah, is that something that you're concerned about right now, or you feel like you're the smooth operator, not stressing out, and you can handle all the things that are coming your way that comes with aging? When I say aging, what is it that pops in your head first?
Unable to get her out.
Oh,
Unable
mobility issue.
And that's what I don't want to have happen, so that when you retire, I can't get around.
Yeah.
So in the last month, I've actually started stretching every day and doing some lightweight stuffs, and I can feel the difference. Because one of my friends told me years ago, he said, Ross, when you retire, you gotta stretch out, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And it's like, I don't have to do that. And
Yeah.
then, what I've been doing the last 3 years, working on the grounds crew, it takes a toll on their bodies. So I've realized that, yes, I do need to do something.
Yeah. Because then what are you going to do? Golf is your other thing. So if you can't move around and you can't golf, that would be
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then if and when I do retire, people always talk about traveling and stuff like that. It's like, I don't want to have my wife push me around in a wheelchair or vice versa.
Yeah.
And that's the other reason I don't want to wait till I'm too old to not be able to enjoy these things.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And yeah, golf. I mean, we both golf. We love it. Usually once a week, and most of our vacations are planned with golf involved. So, we've kind of set things up so that hopefully I don't know if she wants me to retire, because I don't know if she wants me around the house. But there's plenty of things here that I still want to do around my house.
Right.
But if I'm, too old and can't do anything, then what's the sense? And that's why I need to start doing it now, get back in there, so that when the time comes, I can do it and not be laid up for 2 or 3 days after doing it. because at work every morning at 4 o'clock, we do some stretching exercises with the whole crew. And one of the guys said, "Oh, Ralph, you can still touch your toes. At 65, that's pretty good."
Yeah.
Because they all keep asking me, "When are you going to retire? When are you going to retire? How old are you?" He said, "You can still touch your toes. That's pretty good." And I'm thinking, yeah, that is pretty good. So, but like I said, I saw such a difference in 1 week when I was just doing the stretching.
Yeah.
Because I had back issues a while back. I went to physical therapy, and this is what they had me do. It made a difference. It's like, okay, I feel great. I don't need to do it anymore. And then right back to the same thing. So now I'm going to try and stay on it. And next thing is, because again, as an operator, all I do is sit on a big mower all day long, 8 hours a day. So next thing is to get out walking or exercising. And
Yeah, we all have that little bit thing hanging on there.
yeah, well, and
So aside from mobility, then are you pretty good with retiring? And after you retire, I guess you guys have a home here. It's not like you go back to the mainland or anything.
no, I don't think so. Well, our family's here. I mean, like I said, I have a brother in Minnesota, a sister in Arizona, but Minnesota, I'm not going back there in the winter time, especially. So no, I don't. We'll just hang out here and travel. I want to go to the East Coast. I've never been there. But you know, my siblings are not getting any younger. You know, so got to try and spend some time with them. But it's ended up that over the past few years, we've always been getting together for their kids' wedding. California, Arizona, Mexico. So that's given us some traveling experience there, which is great. And then I get to see the family.
Enjoy your retirement for a little while at least before you know.
Right. Yeah. People say you get bored, right? But I don't think I would get bored.
Yeah.
My brother's been retired for 7 years. He's sick. I'm not bored. Not bored at all. So
I think mindset, I mean, they always say mindset matters, but it's absolutely true. Because I always wonder other people that are around our age and how they feel really decrepit or even older than, you know, and I think it makes a huge difference in how you look at things.
yeah, a little bit. Right?
Yeah. So, you know, with this, you're close to retirement age, you've gone through a lot of stuff. Do you have any major challenges that you felt like you had to overcome in your life in terms of anything personalized or work-wise that you were able to be really proud of how you dealt with it?
Yeah, there was a time when I first moved here in the food and beverage world that I got mixed up with the wrong crowd. I didn't know it was the wrong crowd at the time because it was so much fun. You know, alcohol, drugs, and I kind of just thought, okay, that's the thing to do. And maybe part of me felt that, okay, that's what I needed to do because that's what they're doing. And I want to hang with them.
Yeah.
And they were bad people. You know, they were good people. But then I saw a change because of all the drugs.
In yourself and them.
In both.
Okay.
In both. And so then, and that's one thing that I'm very proud of is that I was able to stop it on my own.
Yeah.
Didn't have to go to treatment or anything. Like, no. And this was actually right before I met Bill. And threw all that stuff away, literally. Paraphernalia, I threw it away and said, I'm done.
How, so it was like a cold turkey thing? I mean, did you just wake up one day and say, you know, I forgot about today, or I'm tired of feeling like this all the time? Because I've never done it myself, so I don't know what it feels like. Or
Actually, there was one time when I saw two people in my circle that were very well off, own their own companies, and I saw them. They were at our place, and they were crawling around on their hands and knees in my shag carpeting because they thought they'd dropped some of their rugs
wow,
in there.
yeah. Is that the moment that you?
That was the moment. And even, you know what, it's funny because no matter how stoned or high I was, I still maintained somehow.
Yeah.
So maybe I wasn't that stoned or I don't know, maybe with bad stuff forgive me. But when I saw that, it just left a lasting impression. And they ended up losing their business. And so, yeah, when I saw that, it's like, I can't do this anymore because
Or your mom's upbringing came up to surface maybe too.
that could have been. It could have been because certainly way back then there was nothing like that, you know. But just seeing that, and is this the road that I'm going to go down? So I said no, and it really wasn't that hard to quit. I just gotta didn't associate with that.
Yeah.
You could be in my bar and stuff, that's fine, but you go your way, I'll go mine. So if it's not there, you're not gonna do it, right?
Exactly. Something to be proud of, I would have to say. And the fact that you could just do it like that. I mean, you know, it wasn't a gradual thing. You just saw it, you made a decision, and you just
Right. And I'm pretty proud of myself for that. Yeah, and because who knows what would have been that I, stayed on that path.
I don't think you and Julia would be together.
No, not at all. Not at all. And just, this one other thing I wanted to share about challenges. I had a work challenge in my food labor position that I was in. We had a big thunderstorm. We lost total power to the restaurant.
They're in the middle of service.
No, this was the day before, but the next day they had a golf tournament.
Oh my God.
For 250 people scheduled for our golf course. So by that time the weather was beautiful, but we still had no power, and they didn't know when it would come back on. The tournament was to be quite. So we need 250 musubis, which is, rice and spam.
Yeah.
I needed
For people that are not from Hawaii.
Yeah, I needed 250 of those by 11 o'clock in the morning. And then we had to do a dinner buffet that night by 5:30 for 250 people with no power.
Gosh.
So I called one of my friends out at Paulina. I said, "Can you make me 10 cans of rice?" He did. We went to go pick that up. I called my other friend who was a culinary instructor at Leeward Community College. I said, "Can I use your kitchen?" He said, "Sure, come on over." So we loaded up all the food in our trucks, took it over there, cooked it all, brought it back. Now, again, at this time, the restaurant wasn't really prepared for hurricane preparedness, so we didn't have emergency lighting and all that.
Right.
So I put candles on all the tables. And then, of course, the buffet, you have sternals, so you don't need electricity.
Yeah.
But the candles were really enough light. So I drove my truck around the front of the restaurant. There was kind of a hill, so the restaurant sits up here, or the hill like this. So I drove my truck up here, and put my headlights on, so that it was even ready to restaurant.
But the car battery.
Well, I have to go start it every once in a while. The tournament programs only usually last like a couple hours. That wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
They were amazed that we were able to pull it off without a hitch, really. I mean, it was not a hitch. So there were a lot of hitches for us, running here, running there. And because Fort Weaver Road was all closed down, so all the trees are down. That's what took the power line does. So that's one other major challenge that I feel pretty good about handling.
Well, what was it with that one? Because that's amazing to me that you were able to think of all these things. Was it? I mean, and that's also another instance where a manager. I mean, I'm sure it was a stressful thing, but to be able to stay calm and collected, to make sure that these plans are in order, it's not an easy thing that everybody can do, So, kudos.
Yeah, well,
Having connection helps too in the
I
industry.
was just gonna say, you're right. Connections, because the chef at Colina, they don't have the kitchen. I mean, they needed their kitchen to do their own thing.
Right.
So he said, "I can cook your rice, but you can't use my kitchen."
Right.
My friend at New York Community College, in fact, he said, "Oh, Ross, I just cleaned all my equipment." But he said, "Come on over."
Yeah.
So it made a big difference. But the thing logistically also was the traffic, because there was a lot of roads that were shut down. So it took a while to get it done, but we did, and it was a great feeling to get it done. The golfers were super happy. That the coordinators were really pleased and impressed that we were able to pull it off. So that's probably my biggest career challenge that I've ever had. And obviously since then we've got more hurricanes, various things in place. But
Yeah, I mean, it seems like weather things are happening more and more. But so, now that we talked about your challenges, I actually want then to go to this section of my show, which is called Your Wow. So your wow is your words of wisdom based on all these experiences, and is even the two that you just mentioned. Is there some type of wisdom or whatever your wow that you'd like to share with the audience in terms of your life philosophy or your thinking about certain things that you feel would be valuable that you've learned?
Well, I think I would just go back to the golden rule. You want I look at stuff, it's like, how would you like somebody doing that to you? How would you feel? And don't stress. Doesn't do any good. There always gotta be a solution. Yeah, think about it. Think outside the box. Maybe some of that's from my, the different company that I've had or worked with. I will say they have given us a lot of good training to know thinking outside the box. But I think it's my upbringing and the way we were raised, the way I was raised. Enjoy life. And like giving you one example of one that and its weight is so I try to enjoy life. And there's times that I gotta be serious. So but again, I just think go by the golden rule. Do unto others of you to have them do unto you. And live like that.
Okay. Thanks, Ross, for chatting with me and taking time to share some of your story. Yeah, I really, really appreciate that.
My pleasure.
And thank you for joining us on this episode of Old Asian Lady, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Aloha.